Radio.
Hi there and welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Lall Show right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. And of course, this is how we do it every Monday, Wednesday and Friday around this time. We want you to encourage your friends and family to join us as we continue to fight for a better Guyana. I'll hand you over to the man of the moment, and of course he'll make his presentation, after which we'll come back and take some of your calls and of course read your messages this evening on the Lall Show. Boss, over to you.
Boss. Wow. I am Lall, and I have some beautiful things to share with you guys tonight. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy. Not only this program, but this wonderful evening. Joshua? Yeah. I didn't get back my passport up to now. The people still got it. So I still with y'all tonight, okay? I'm told that they have to sanitize each page before they look at my passport. Hear that, Josh? Yeah. So, namaste.
Namaste.
To all Guyanese and all the listeners across this world. Tonight, I have juicy news for y'all. Hot food that just come off the fire. You will hear about an ex-minister of Trinidad and Tobago. The man who advising Guyana on the gas to show project, what he did to his own country. You will also hear how they want to close down Kaieteur News. And how ExxonMobil has become a monopoly in this country called Guyana, and more. I begin tonight's program, Josh, with a question. Yeah. When you hear a man say, "Oh, me mama, look what happened there," or "what happened here," what's the first thing come to mind?
Something serious. Something bad.
If you hear somebody say those words,
something bad happened.
Something bad happened.
Something terrible happened.
Something terrible happened. Yes, you're correct. Well, that is what I want to start this topic tonight with. Oh, me mama. A country is as strong as its leaders.
Yes.
A country is even stronger with its people. There are a few people in this country that I have tremendous respect for. People who I consider heroes, who stood up for their country against politicians that set about to break the norms and the laws of your country. A gentleman named Morris Arjun. Another one, Mr. Edgar Heliger. A woman named Miss Melinda Janke. Is just three that comes to mind right away. People who are ready to be sent home, standing up for what is right and best for their country. In the United States, a colonel named Alexander Vindman, who worked in the White House with Donald Trump, stood up for what was right for America against him and resigned. The stance he took led to Trump being impeached the second time. Many others stood up against Trump for their country, and resigned, while some was fired. Alexander Vindman's brother was also a colonel working with Trump, and he was fired because of his brother's stance. Honest, decent, and fearless citizens of this earth is part of my family. I love them and would always remember them. Wherever they are, I will always be by their side. Without people like them to hold leaders accountable, disaster awaits the citizen of that country and by extension the world. Life has a domino effect. When one is affected in the family, all bears the burden. Same thing with a country. When the citizens are affected, the whole country suffer. In Trinidad, I just found out about another hero, a man named Indar Maraj. He managed the National Gas Company of Trinidad and Tobago, and he told 2 government ministers in the previous government, no way. And guess what, Guyana? The man put it in red ink to them. I love that guy. The stance he took, brothers and sisters, he saved Trinidad from sinking more into poverty. Let me explain to all of you what he did. The former Minister of Energy, a man named Kevin Ramnarine, and the Finance Minister, a man named Larry Howe, wanted Maraj to back a gas deal, and he blocked it. Like I said, he blocked it in red ink. The last day before the general elections in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, the new Minister of Energy, a gentleman named Stuart Young, says that same Kevin Ramnarine left Trinidad on a knife's edge. You hear me? A very sharp knife edge. Any slip, Josh, any movements, your neck is gone. Trinidad would have gone. Remember, Vice President Jagdeo had said the government of Japan did a feasibility study that says the gas to shore project is viable. You remember that, Bernard? Yes. Yes. He said that at the little presentation he had with us. Well, is that same Japan who was behind the gas to shore plant that would have sink it, if not kill Trinidad and Tobago. And the country only learned of this disaster, Bernard. The country only learned about this disaster when the Keith Rowley government took office in 2015. The now minister said they had to work tirelessly to correct what Ramnarine put Trinidad and Tobago in with that gas plant. The minister said by the end of 2020, Trinidad National Gas Company was running at 2.1 billion losses. You hear me, brother?
Wow, that's our budget.
That's more than our budget. And the new minister said, has nothing to do with COVID or a massive breakdown of the equipment. It was the lopsided deal and policy that Kevin Ramnarine signed on to. Hear that? He said a local TNT company with 10% is in a joint venture with 3 Japanese companies that own 70%. You hear me? So between the one local and the 3 Japanese company, them own 80%. And the Trinidad government own the final 20%. So there you go. Them own 80% and TNT 20%. That was not the only part of the whole deal, the new minister said. Guyana, when you hear the rest of the deal, you may want to throw up. But don't do it in your bed. It has a terrible smell. The contract says, Bernard, Trinidad and Tobago would construct and operate the gas plant, which required a $900 million loan. Wait, you laughing? That 900 million figure sounds familiar to you, Josh?
That's what I call it for the pipeline.
Yes, man, it's the same figure. Brassington and Vice President Jagdeo giving me here for the gas to show project at Wales.
Okay, I'm not giving another figure.
And that same Ramnarine I'm talking about is the one who was advising Guyana. You hear that? Let me move on, man, Josh.
You like it, $900 million.
Let me move on, guys. The story is sweet. The new minister said the contract for Ramnarine signed on to, Trinidad will lose more than 2.1 billion. No, man, I made a mistake there. The contract demand signed on to, Trinidad will not only lose the more than $2.1 billion. In fact, he said, Trinidad and Tobago will lose 4.5 billion in the future. Here why, Josh? Because the 900 million loan is on TNT back. Hear that? Although the 4 private companies own 80% of the project, Trinidad 20% is responsible for the $900 million loan.
Like the Bobby's budget?
I love this place. I love this place. This is what Ramnarine put me in, the minister said.
You own people in Trinidad. What you do to Guyana?
Yes. This is a beautiful region we live in, man.
I'm telling you. A failure in another country can be a
Wow.
coincidence in another country.
Imagine me own 80% of the business and you who own 20% have to carry the full 900 million bank loan on you back. Man, you guys understand what I just said?
That's better than the Bobby's budget.
Eh? The Japanese companies with the one local TT company put themselves to own 80% of the plant. But them have nothing to do with the 900 million US dollar for billet. How you like that? The bank, that means the bank can't go to them. They are out of that picture. The bank got to go to Trinidad government for their money, their payments. That is the contract what a man signed. And that is not even the worst part of the contract, Guyana. Hear more what the ex-minister Ramnarine, who advising Vice President Jagdeo and Brassington on our gas project did to Trinidad. He tied Trinidad and Tobago Gas Company to be the guarantor of the 900 million loan. And even if, hear this part, man, and even if the Trinidad government pay off the entire $900 million loan, Trinidad will not be the owner of the gas plant. Let me repeat that, please. The contract Ramnarine sign, say if Trinidad with the 20% pay off the loan in full, Trinidad still can't be the owner of the gas plant. And this man is we advisor, brothers and sisters of this country. Yes, our advisor. The new minister went on to say that that's not the only mind-boggling part of the story. He said that Ramnarine and the finance minister were warned in red ink by the employees of the National Gas Company of Trinidad and Tobago that the terms of the agreement would be a disaster for the company and the country as a whole. You hear that?
Same thing right there, show you, no?
He said, Maraj, the then head of the gas company, sent Ramnarine a 5-page letter setting out all the danger terms in the contract. Why Trinidad should not go ahead with such a project, but received no reply from Ramnarine. Both ministers were written to again by Mr. Maraj, my hero, a few months later, setting out more danger points about the project. Let me list a few of what Maraj told them. He said Trinidad could be booted out anytime by the big shareholders that have 80% of the company. He told them Trinidad will have to pay out of their pocket if there's an increase in the cost of the gas plant from 900 million to whatever increase it is. It has to come out from Trinidad pocket. He told both ministers, Ramnarine and the finance minister, that the project will affect the gas company cash in hand and by extension the budget for the company. Both Ramnarine and Huawei ignored the man completely. The minister said he only find out this 5 days. 5 days after them going to power in 2015. When one of the private companies approached him for his opinion on the legal documentation of the project. You hear that? That's how they find out.
Yeah.
He didn't mention which one of the private company approached him seeking his advice, but I am certain it's the local one.
Of course.
Yes. The minister said when he get down into it, when he examined the gas contract, is then he realized the danger Kevin Ramnarine put Trinidad and Tobago into with that project. Is then the new minister realized how much pressure was placed on the public servants at both ministries to sign on to the contract. The last day before the general elections of Trinidad and Tobago. If it wasn't for that one company who went and seek his advice, he would have never seen all that is written. He was never going to check on the file to see. Is then he learned all them things. Hear more what he said. The minister said, had those public servants sign on to that contract, all would have gone for China. It would have been set in stone, worse than ExxonMobil's tune we have here. He said, God smiled on us when the public servants resisted all the pressure from both ministers to sign on to that contract. The minister said that contract exposed Trinidad and Tobago to billions in lawsuits or claims from the gas company's clients because of the term they put in the contract, which says, I love this piece. You got to hear this please carefully. If gas become a shortage in Trinidad, these new players, the 3 Japanese company with the one local company with the 10%, must get first preference. You hear that? And your clients, what you had from day one, donkey years ago, got to go join the line from the back. Yes, the contract kick all the old gas buyers out to the back of the line. These are his exact words. He said, in the dark of night, this former minister Ramnarine went to the cabinet and changed the whole gas allocation policy for Trinidad and Tobago. And we, the population, had no clue about it. We were shocked to learn when we came into office in September of 2015 that this was done. My Lord, I think I got a problem in this country. Wow. What this means is that every plant in Point Elias, that's in Trinidad, a part in Trinidad, that had supply contracts with Trinidad Gas Company, if there was a shortage of gas, tough luck for them. They would have to suck salt and move to the back of the line. So immediately, you can understand how this exposed Trinidad Gas Company to billions of dollars in claims. The minister said, those were his words. He said, after we discovered the trouble Ramnarine put in the contract, Kaieteur, the Trinidad Prime Minister, put together a team and include him to renegotiate the terms of the agreement, to find a way out of the contract, its policies and agreements with Masse, that is a local company, Mitsubishi, the government of Japan, through the Japanese bank. You hear that? The minister said doing this was crucial so as to avoid the collapse of the whole gas industry in Trinidad. He said after months of negotiations, an agreement was reached to protect and safeguard Trinidad and Tobago Gas Company. The minister said that both ministers and others who were involved tried to deny their involvement in the destruction of the gas sector. However, the facts are clear, adding that documents and contracts were already signed. All that was needed was the Attorney General's signature to finalize the deal, and that was it. Since the start of our oil and gas industry, brothers and sisters, that same Kevin Ramnarine, like I said earlier, has been advising Winston Brasington, the man who's heading the gas sector, and Vice President Jagdeo on the Gas to Shore project. That same 900 million Gas to Shore project. And he has also been advising us on our local content policies. You hear me? That same local content policy that was commissioned by President Ali last year.
Why we can't get up to now?
Hmm?
Why we can't get up to now?
Yes, and we can't get it on to now. I don't know what's inside here. We don't know what they're hiding in there too. We don't know what Kevin Ramnarine would have advised them to put in there. Me ain't say nothing more.
Nothing more need to be said.
Brothers and sisters, now I want to tell y'all what Ramnarine had to say in response to what he was accused of. He said the project, despite all the criticisms, resulted in jobs for the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
You like Jagdeo jobs.
And will soon lead to positive cash flow as it was executed with key Japanese firms. He told Kaieteur News that what he and his colleagues did was above board. You hear that? Apart from jobs, he said it's the largest PPP project, private-public partnership project, ever undertaken in the history of Trinidad and Tobago, and was the largest construction project in Trinidad and Tobago in the last 5 years. He also said the Japanese companies is the largest companies in the world with this type of business. Hear this man. He said putting together such a massive project is a very complex thing with so much investors. He went on to sing a similar tune what Vice President Jagdeo singing in Guyana years. You know the song he's singing? The Gas to Shore project on cut light bill in half. Ramnarine used a different tune. He sing to the Trinidad people how he put together this project because gas price was going up and down like yo-yo. How the price for gas is changing up and down by the hour. TNT still have the plant up and running. That's what he said. He said absolutely nothing of how he was pushing and pressuring the public servants to sign off on that project the last day before elections that bolted them out of office. Like the man said, had that contract signed, they could have never sit and renegotiate that contract in favor of Trinidad and Tobago. He hasn't said nothing about that. As for the deal itself, he did not respond as to why Trinidad and Tobago guaranteeing the 900 million Japanese loan through TNT, 20% ownership. He didn't say anything about that. He said nothing about if the loan is paid off by Trinidad, why still Trinidad can't own the plant. He said nothing to that effect. He said nothing about the 80% owned by the private people having no risks. But the 20% he give to the government of Trinidad taking all the risks, owning the debt. All he said on that, there is no risk. no risk. Well, if it had no risk, Mr. Ramnarine, Mr. Kevin Ramnarine, why the private people wasn't part of the 900 million loan from Japan? You can answer that question. Mr. Ramnarine, if there were no risk, then why the present government said thank God they were able to renegotiate and change the contract in favor of Trinidad and Tobago? And my last question to you, Mr. Ramnarine, do you own any of the private companies, or do you have shares in any one of them that made you exempt all the private companies from the risks, the loan, and the debts of the $900 million? Could you please tell Guyana that?
$1 million question.
Guyana, I will be looking out. I need all of you to keep your eyes, keep your head, keep your brain ticking, because I'll be looking out, Mr. Ramnarine, as to what the makeup of we Gas to Shore project will look like, to see if it's the same way you have helped design it with the Vice President Jack Day and Winston Brasington them. I will be looking. This country will be watching. Guyana, you guys are heading for a disaster with the same 900 million Gas to Shore project that Jack Day said going to cut light bill in half. It has been almost a year and we have had no press conference from Mr. Jack Day, Brasington, President Ali, Opposition Leader Harmon, or David Patterson to tell us what's going on with it, to let us know the details of how they plan to execute this Wales project. This deal is so good for Guyana, yet it has to be hidden from the Guyanese people, man. What does this tell us? Josh? It tells us that something beautiful is going on behind me back. What you say, Bernard?
Definitely.
Yeah, something
100%.
beautiful going on. Don't keep your eye on. When arrogant and talkative leaders fall abruptly silent, it is confirmation of something troubling going on. You didn't hear me, Josh? Good. All I need to know, all we need to know, all Guyana needs to know is who will be the private companies in the project, who will bear the burden of the cost, the loans, if it should ever come off the ground, and how Guyana, how this profit will be sharing. That's what I want to know. Winston Brasington is put in charge of the Gas to Shore project, the largest project ever in the history of the region. And Lall only learned through the court that he does not have an MBA or a financial certificate behind his name. Yet this is the man who managed some of the largest state agencies, government corporations, when he was head of NISIL. My gosh. He also managed some of the largest projects in this country for many, many years. The hydro, the Amelia Hydro was one. The Marriott was two. That even to this day, No one but him knows who are the private investors in that hotel. We should thank God that Mr. David Granger came in and was able to put back the hotel in Guyana's hand. The airport is a disaster with $160 million and counting. Tomorrow we are carrying a story on it. Minister Wane Jill, when asked to say what is the final cost of the airport, you know what he said? Today, that story is going tomorrow. The man said, well, 170 is not the final cost, but a thing will go past 200 million US dollar.
For rebuild
For real, this is what?
for rebuild the airport.
Just for renovate and rebuild that thing. Something that could have been done, right? For less than $25-30 million.
For one airport.
This man is now telling me
Cost
that it will go past 200 million. The Enmore packaging plant, the Skeldon 200 million are white elephants. Too many projects to mention that has been a complete failure in this country. I have asked anyone in this land to name one. Just one single project under both governments that they have done that they can honestly say to Glenn they are proud of. I am still growing and going in great health. Thank God. Brasington was asked about the role he played at NISIL at my last court case, last week or the week before. He was asked the role he played when he ran NISIL for so many years. He said he was part of over 30 state entities as chairman or director of them, and did hundreds of transactions, including restructuring them. The US $40 million transmission line by the Chinese, he was part of that. That project was supposed to link Essequibo, Borbis, and Demerara. I spoke about that, and you know the rest. Now he's put to head the gas to shore project, the largest in the region. And that does not seem enough for him. He now wants to manage and run the Kaieteur News. Yes, the Kaieteur News. He is seeking, through the courts, an order to wind up the Kaieteur News into receivership through some court judgments he get against the company. Yes. I told you guys before, he sued the Kaieteur News 19 times one day in 2014. And so far, 2 judges awarded him $30-something million on 7 out of the 19 cases. The Honorable Justice Fidela Corbin tried 5 cases one time and awarded him $3.5 million each. Then Justice Navindra Singh tried 1 and awarded him $10 million. Last week again, Justice Fidela Corbin tried 2 more, in which she awarded $2 million on 1. And we are still awaiting her decision on the second one. Winston Brasington went and got a garnishment letter from the court to take that money out of the company's account. I have no problem with that. He took out about $19 million to date, according to our bank records and people. In lieu of that, I applied to the court through my lawyers seeking a payment plan. The court gave the Kaieteur News October 6th for that hearing. While we are waiting for that court date, guess what happened, Miss Harris? I love these people. I really do.
It's hard. It's
While we waited for court date, guess what you do? Monday evening, my lawyer Christopher Ram called me and said, Glenn, Winston Brasington withdraw the garnishment letter from the bank. Right away I smiled and then laughed. Then he said, hey, nothing to laugh about, Glenn. You're in more trouble. Brasington applied to the court, you hear me, yesterday, to have Kaieteur News asset go into receivership. Meaning, he wants the court to put somebody to take over, manage and run the Kaieteur News. We reported the full story in today's Kaieteur News with more details. You guys can just Google it and see it. You guys may not know. Listeners, you may not know. When a matter is before the court, there is only so much you can report on or talk about publicly. This is what I want to say tonight on this issue. I know there is a sinister plot to get rid of the Kaieteur News. And more so me. We have been a thorn in the flesh of both political regimes, exposing their lies, incompetence, and corruption for the last 27 years. Let me say this, Guyana, very, very calmly. Nobody but the Creator can shut this mouth or close these eyes and ears. We will see where this goes. Somebody has to come out a winner. And that winner can only be decided by the Creator himself. Thank you. Thank you. You disagree?
No.
Huh? Ask any one of them if them know who decides at what time they shut their eyes before going to sleep. You know what time you shut your eye? Right. Ask any one of them if they know how many times their left eye will blink in the next 30 seconds. You laugh, right? Or you're thinking. You're thinking, Josh? What are you thinking over there? You don't know.
I don't know.
You don't know. No one knows that, Josh. What I know is that the big man lives within me.
Yes.
He directs my actions and every word that proceeded my mouth. Even my thoughts, he is in control of. I receive lots of text messages and phone calls. I just wanted to say to them, thanks. Thanks for your support and kind words. As for the help offered, thank you guys, but no thanks. Leave it to the man above. He will take care of it for me. One man called me and said, Glenn, how much you owe these people? I want to pay it off. Thank you. Thank you, my friend. You don't have to. Leave it to the man above. Joshua, I think the Guyanese people brains getting a little timid now. Or full. You think I should go on? Huh?
We want you to. So sweet,
All year. I'll talk a little more about it. You understand the meaning of greed, Miss Harris?
Oh, very, very well.
Yeah?
I see it every day
Green and politicians go
in this country.
Well, what I'm about to expose here will explain in simple terms what it means. I saw the owners of the Kanji oil block just announced today, that they are seeking the EPA permission to begin exploration in a few months' time. They say year in, which is just now. Yes, they're now ready to drill, looking for oil in the Kanji block. Just in case y'all forget or never heard of this. The Kanji block. The Kanji block in which President Ramnarine said he had a few files on his desk just days before the 2015 election and sign off. He did say Robert Prasad, the natural resource minister at the time, told him that it was okay, so he signed it off. You hear that? Not Glenn saying that. See? You see, Josh? Give away billions of our resources, our wealth, just like that, in a twinkle of an eye. He, like Robert Prasad, said he'll never see or meet the people who get that oil block. Robert Prasad did say he only meet the lawyers who sign on behalf of the people, but can't remember them. Couldn't even remember the names of the lawyers, nor the law firm these people work with.
That's shocking.
God bless you guys. And God bless all of you, Guyana. Now, the owners of the Kanji block is ready to throw billions in cost for drilling, searching for oil, just like what Exxon is doing every day. That is, every day that is going by with them dry holes, and no holes, and wet holes. If you understand what I'm saying. My tongue kind of little tight, little twist. This got to be a lovely country, Guyana.
Best.
I am not talking about Exxon Block, Guyana. I am not saying anything about the Stabrook Block here. I am talking about a new kid in town, the Kanji Block, the Kanji kids. The Vice President Jagdeo have been saying from the time they get into office up to 2 weeks ago in Texas that they will not change ExxonMobil PSA contract. But they will look back at all the rest of the agreements for the oil of the other oil blocks and change them to ensure that Guyana gets a better deal from them. Now we're hearing from the owners that they're ready to drill holes. I wonder where the Vice President is. I wonder where the opposition leader and President Ali. If anybody could find them, Trust me, not only me, the nation needs to hear from them on this madness, this craziness that is about to hit Guyana. Are we going to grant the permission, or are we going to change the agreement to take us out of this pile of billions that they will be ramping up to throw at us, to bury us further in a death hole? Which one, Bernard? Huh? ExxonMobil drill about 80 or more dry and wet holes already. Yet we don't know the cost. I am certain that that cost is more than 4 or 5 times Guyana budget. The entire budget, 5 years Guyana budget. This is what the Kanji people say. Once they get the permission, Guyana, there will be at least 58 different types of supply vessels out there in the waters.
Wow.
Man, you hear what I'm telling them, man? They say if they get the permission, they got 58 different vessels in the waters out there.
There's 630 million.
It's more 11 million a day supply boats on we head. More helicopter costs on our head. More staff accommodation and salaries on we head. More trucking, warehousing and local content bills on we back during the drilling, searching, looking for oil. I go Jack Dio, go Harmon, go President Ali, go man, I go. Hear this one, Josh. Hear what the people them say. The supply boats, the helicopters, even to the workers, Guyana can't supply that. ExxonMobil will be supplying that. You hear that? So the money will be paid to ExxonMobil because them will be the ones supplying all the services to the Kanji oil block. You want to hear the exact words in the statement they put out, Josh? Hear what they say, man. By the time Kanji ready for operation, ExxonMobil say them done ready to rent Kanji supply boats and helicopters from their fleet on a rotation system. Also, that they will have 2 floating ships in action, ready to draw down from Kanji oil. You understand what I said there, Josh? What this means for you, Guyana? These people set up a monopoly in the entire oil sector. They are not giving nobody else a chance to make a few dollars. Them will be the ones to supply all the services to Kanji oil block, in which Kanji will be paying them, and that bill will throw at us, Guyana. So every one of us is being kicked out in every corner of the oil industry. So don't think any one of you who planning for buy a boat, a helicopter, or a truck got anything for get there. Everything done locked down, lock off by ExxonMobil. Them is the king of the oil blocks out there, and them is the king of this country called Guyana. So start putting in your mind to call Exxon boss King Darren Woods. He's the head of ExxonMobil.
You're changing your Georgetown to Darrington.
You know, Bernard, I wonder if any of our leaders understand what ExxonMobil doing to Guyana and its people.
They fully well know that.
No, I really don't think so. Nope. No, I don't believe so.
Foresight.
I don't think they understand what I just said there. They will understand how I say it. But what was written in the newspapers today, I don't think they would read and capture it the way it is.
Comprehend it.
Yeah, they can't comprehend it.
Yes.
I have spoken to many people. I've talked to a couple people today, and they read it and they couldn't understand it. Right? They didn't see it that way. Right? Imagine Exxon gets 600 Isle Blacks free. That is almost 3/4 of Guyana's oil out there. And I already get a free pass with that 2% royalty. Not royalty, royalty. Walks away from this country without paying a single cent taxes. Yet, them turn around and want to scramble up the little scrapings what should have come to we, the Guyanese people, from the other oil blocks. Hear that? Even that they're grabbing up from us. And our leaders, either they're dumb, numb, or stupid, or corrupt, allowing that to happen. This is not greed, Guyana. This is beyond greed. And I am not upset. I am damn upset with what is happening and what is about to happen with this Kanji arrangement. I hope the EPA doesn't grant this permit overnight so we can sit and renegotiate the entire madness that is taking place in this oil sector. Many people, especially ignorant people, want to punish you for speaking the truth, for being correct, for being you.
Yes.
Never apologize for being correct, for being years ahead of your time. If you are right and you know it, speak your mind. Even if you are a minority of one, the truth is still the truth. That's a quote from a great soul that passed through this earth, a man named Mohandas Karamchand Mahatma Gandhi. Instead, they fix these issues, correct this raping of Guyana by these foreigners in every sector. Instead of shutting them down and bring them to the table so that you can have a decent salary to live with. A decent salary to live with, in which all of us can live a great life with our own God-given blessed wealth. Them coming after the messenger, Lall, to shut him out. I still love them all. And I hope and pray that they wake up. I honestly believe they will wake up. Good night, and thanks for listening. And don't forget to tune in the same time, Tuesdays and Thursdays, for the Kiana Wilberg show. She had a beautiful show last night with one of my Guyanese heroes, the lady named Melinda Janki. Tomorrow night, she will be talking to none other than a man named David Patterson from the coalition. You see, I just tell y'all, them coming around. One by one, they're going to wake up. Not Lall will wake them up. Their family, them neighbors, and them friends will push the fire. The fire to open their eyes.
Definitely. The Guyanese people will do that.
please end it. Please end it with that video. May God bless all of you. We'll be taking the phone calls.
Yes.
Go ahead and play.
You can call us this evening on 226-7453 and 226-7454. Those are the numbers you can call us on this evening if you would like to make a contribution. Of course, you can also call us on WhatsApp on 622-2222. All right, we have a call in the line?
Take it.
While we wait on the call, Mr. Lall, I have a question. A lot of persons would have been reaching out to ask if they can participate or be a part or just come into the studio to be a part of the Glenn Lall show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. What are your thoughts?
Oh, that's very sweet.
Uh-huh.
That's very sweet. I don't mind accommodating a few of them on the program every night. Matter of fact, I would love to entertain them in the office. But Josh, we can only take 3
Yes,
on every program.
precisely.
So maybe you should give them the WhatsApp number and let them make a booking, right? So as they text, you give them a date because you're right. 2-3 people asked me from Borbis and Essequibo if they can come and sit with us, and I said no problem. So okay, we'll give them the text, the WhatsApp number, and let them text, and we can have them there.
622-2222. You can feel free to.
Yeah, because we wouldn't want them to come from Borbis and then
And there's no space.
Right, you
Precisely.
don't have space for them.
Yes. So
Guys,
you can call and make your booking on 622-2222.
Yes, you can come and sit down. You feel free to ask a question or participate, be involved, or you can just sit and see what we do here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Right,
Yes.
we have a caller here. Caller, good evening and welcome to the Glenn Lall show.
Hi, good night.
Good night.
So the Glenn Show,
Yes.
the panel.
Go ahead.
Now I have some questions here from Mr. Lall.
No problem. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Can you lower your radio? You can't listen to your radio and talk to us at the same time.
Definitely.
Thank you.
All right. I want to ask Mr. Lall,
Go ahead.
how do you fight all these things and still smile when these people are coming to take your newspaper away from you and your company? That's one. Number 2, I listened to this program for the last 6 months or more, and I can see you're a real fighter, one son of a bitch, highly blessed and truly favored. I can tell you that. And honestly, the things you put up with, I couldn't, brother. How do you cope with it? That's my 3 questions to Mr. Lall.
First question.
You ask tough questions there, bro.
I can answer the first one.
How do I put up with that?
The first one is faith. Your faith in the Almighty is what
Yeah.
keeps you going. Right?
Yes, everything I do, everything I say, like I said earlier on the program, that down to my thoughts are being directed by the Creator. So I am not really in control of anything. And that is something I understand, my brother. We are not in control of anything. We are placed on earth to carry out His will, to do His work. I am just doing His work. And what comes tomorrow is what He wants. And that's my belief. I think that should answer the question. I thought they were getting 3 questions on the oil. or our resources.
Anything else you want to leave with
Because-
us, caller?
Yes. I would like to also tell Mr. Lall that the Muslers, I'm following the story with him and Mr. Brasington along, and I know he's going to prevail.
Raised.
And the reason he's going to prevail because he's the only fighter for this nation, the only true fighter for this nation. And he's fighting for the oppressed and the people who cannot fight for themselves. And more so, they cannot fight because they do not understand what is going on with our wealth. They don't have a clue.
Yeah.
And I would like to say kudos to Mr. Lall, and may God bless him and keep him strong and stronger for the next 100 years.
Yeah.
Because the fight is long and far from where we are at point. Thank you, Mr. Lall, for being our champion and real patriot for this land.
Thank you.
Thank you. To that caller, I just want to tell him that I don't consider myself a fighter. I consider myself an educator, a teacher. And that's what I've been doing for the last 27 years. I've been educating, entertaining Guyana through the newspapers. And now I am trying to put my bit in through this radio program. Thanks anyway, and God bless you too.
Yes, you have a caller. Caller, good evening and welcome to the Glenn Lall Show.
Hi, good night. Am I on to the radio?
Yes, you are. Go right ahead with your contribution.
Okay. First, I would like to greet everyone here. All peace be with you. And I must say, you all are doing a very, very good job. And may God bless you. Because of the fact, we must know that we are dealing with the devils. Those people who is taking our oil and not giving us what we should have. I tell you this, those people don't have a heart, man. How could they do such a thing, take your thing and don't want to give you a share portion? You understand? But I do hope maybe God deal with them and put them in the deepest part of hell for what they're doing. All of them together, because they're really taking advantage of us. And you all must continue doing what you're doing and try and rise the people and tell us what we have to do. We need a leader to go against these leaders. We have to pick these people every day to lock them down, to let them realize what they're doing. We don't want it. You agree with me?
I hear you, and I'm fully in support of what you're saying.
Because we got to get them to do something. Time is going all the time.
Exactly.
Here's a day. So we can't be sitting down. You understand? We have to get up and do something about it. We can't just talking.
So when you were suggesting we hold a protest?
Well, you know, I alone won't like to do it. It has to be discussed among a set of people. Get something formed. You understand?
Well, you can call me on my phone. And we'll talk about it.
We can do that, inshallah. By the permission of God.
Yeah.
Because we need to do a start. You see, we've been talking for a long time now, you know.
A year.
And these gurus that we have, they're doing their own things.
Yes.
You understand?
Uh-huh.
And what is happening when the grass, the horse is not getting the grass? Oh,
Starve.
and this is what's happening to us, because if you check in the country, things are rising and rising all the time. Huh?
Yep.
These people are taking exceedingly too much advantage on us, man. That you can't even bear it.
Yes.
You know?
Exactly.
And people will be frustrated and go to violence. I heard some people talking that they would burn down this town. Believe you me? I heard that. And I don't think that's not the right thing to do.
It will not meet there. And that's not the right thing to do. That will never be the right thing to do. We can't do that.
I told them it's not right to do, because we got to deal with the leaders.
Whatever we do, we got to do it in a civil manner.
That's right.
We are civil people, and we have to do it that way.
We have
violence in a protest,
decision.
any violence in a protest, Glenn Lall don't want to be part of. Right?
No, I told them it's wrong not to do that.
Yeah. But we got to get out. We got to get out into the streets.
Yes, we have to do something, and we got to start with these leaders. Is our leaders don't want to do nothing.
Yeah.
That's the point. our leaders is accepting it and suppressing us.
Yeah, like I said earlier that Jagdev running the oil sector went till to Texas and say that oh, we will not touch Exxon, but we will look at the other oil blocks and try to get as much or get a better deal. And here we go. Kanji is asking for permit to drill, to search for oil, you know.
Yes.
And in the article that we carried today, they said they anticipate 2 areas that they think have oil.
They anticipate.
Yes, they anticipate.
I tell you.
So
People are real bullies, man.
no, it's not only bullies. So they are telling you they are not certain when they drill there getting oil. But what we are certain about, the bill that will be thrown at us is ours to pick up, and they will get their money. They might even get their money out of Exxon Liza One. Right?
Yeah.
Because there's no ring fencing until now on the Exxon contract. So, and I don't know what our government and opposition is doing.
Well, I must tell you this clearly. Our government has betrayed us because he promised to do things. He promised to look at the contract and change it and do what is good for us, but he hasn't done nothing. Instead, he continued to give away the wealth.
Exactly.
That is what he continued to do.
Exactly.
Well, the Creator don't sleep. I do hope when he can deal with them, he put in the deepest part of hell. That is all for now, my brother.
Thank you.
We're already in hell, I think.
Well, I don't want to wish them. I don't want to wish them anywhere, man.
We're already in hell. It
You know-
can't get much worse than
You know, I think heaven and hell is right
His
here.
family, exactly. His family are living in hell.
I think heaven and hell is
His
right
people are
here.
living in hell. Example, exact are living in heaven, and again, his people are living in hell right now.
I think we have hell right here, man, because I know they're living in hell right now with a Glenn Lall radio show and a Glenn Lall mouth and with the Kaieteur news mouth. They're going to bed with Glenn Lall in their mind. Wake up with Glenn Lall in their mind. Not only the leaders, ExxonMobil too.
Yes, that's because they're scared of the truth. When
And-
you're scared of the truth, that's what happens.
And trust me, you come from 1 to 5 when I hit me bed. I snore it.
You don't worry about nobody.
No.
When you stand up with the truth, you love the boy about anything.
Exactly.
And when you're on the right side of history, you love to worry anything. But when you're on the wrong side of history,
Exactly.
and you're scared of the truth,
Exactly.
you have to be worried every minute of your life.
Exactly. That's why I ask you guys, you know, when a man have fear and he's scared, you see it in his face.
Yes.
You feel it in his words. You feel it in his voice. You know?
That's why governments seek to keep their populations in a perpetual state of fear. When people are fearful, they do anything. They accept anything.
Well, they're trying to do anything possible to put fear in me.
Exactly.
No, brother. It can't happen with Glenn Lall. Glenn Lall is a special human being.
Precisely.
He is fearless. With a big smile on my face and in my eyes. You know, if you're looking at Facebook, you're going to see me. You're going to look at my face.
One of
I'm a
our
happy soul, bro.
One of our longtime listeners sent me a message. They were saying with everything that's going on, the protests about the vaccines and all that stuff, nobody don't really care about oil and gas right now. That's what they said. What are your comments?
Nobody care about...
Oil and gas right now with everything that's happening, the protests, the teachers, the schools, Exxon, CGX,
Yes, well,
Kanji,
Listen.
everything.
Listen, everybody have or has their own preference in life.
Precisely.
You know? And how she feel, if she felt to make COVID a priority over anything else in life, then I can't help her. That's who she is. for me, and it will always be for me, and it should always be for everybody else, well, COVID is not death, right? But not having money is death.
Definitely, definitely. And the teachers need more money. They need. You have
Exactly.
to fight for your oil money.
Teachers, nurses, soldiers, the public servants.
Everybody should come and fight for your oil money.
Everybody should come out. COVID ain't gonna kill you.
It wouldn't. It's
No,
just a flu, just a flu.
That aside,
You know,
it's like
I must have gotten COVID. Must be about 10 times, but I never know. I never feel nothing.
Exactly. We also
Some of my staff get it. I work with them. I chat with them. I
Yeah.
sit with them.
Of course.
you can
Yeah?
sleep with somebody in
I
the
never
same
worry
bed
about
and
it.
not get
My daughter
COVID.
had it.
One
Come
second,
on.
one second,
Husbands
please.
and wives have
One
done
sec.
that.
1 second. Good evening, sir.
Good night, Mr. Lall.
Good night, good night, good night. You can talk to us. You're live.
Steph.
You're live.
Let me just be brief. They tried to close down Al Jazeera.
Mhm.
Saudis and the Israelis and all those people in the Middle East who thought that Al Jazeera narratives and their commentary was offensive.
Yes, they even bomb Al Jazeera.
Yes,
Recently.
we know that. They did that. But listen to me. Al Jazeera prevailed. And you will prevail, my brother.
Thank you. Well, they burned my press down one time, a China bomb. They threw a grenade in front on my vehicle. I was sitting just a few feet away. They killed 5 of my employees, shot them in the head. They came in my building looking to kill me. And that has been an ongoing thing for the last, 20 years? You know? And I don't even worry about these things.
But Mr. Ladd, you have a purpose. And the purpose that you're serving, the Guyanese people, is the purpose that the government will use to succeed in getting these royalties changed. Because
Exact.
they are listening to you carefully what you're saying every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Precisely. And I
They
would,
will have no other choice but to tell Exxon, you see what this guy is telling the Guyanese public? Right?
and I want that. Listen to me, my friend. Listen to me, my
Yeah.
friend. I am happy that I can come here and teach them, show them, tell them, say, guys, listen to this thing. It can't be fair. Look tonight. Excuse me. Look tonight. When I told you guys that Exxon is becoming a monopoly in the oil sector, they're taking over everything for themselves,
That's their history.
and that has been their modus operandi
From the beginning.
from the beginning of their
Standard oil.
So they're everything they want for themselves. I just want my leaders to understand this and use this as a weapon to say, hey, you guys can't do this. The Guyanese people have to live. They have to eat. They have to get a portion of this oil. This oil belongs to them. It didn't belong to ExxonMobil. You done messed up with 2%. You done messed up with taxes. Come on. What else you want? Everything?
That's what they want. All the local
But you
companies.
said it correctly, Mr. Ladd.
That's all, my brother. That's all I want them to listen. Understand and act.
We cannot allow Exxon, right, to get away with apartheid in Guyana.
Exactly.
That's exactly what they're doing.
Exactly.
What Exxon is doing in Guyana is what those so-called Jews did to the Palestinians
Yes.
in 1909. And Guyana, if we're not careful, these guys are going to take over everything in the country.
They already have.
They're getting there.
We're on the brink of taking over everything in the country if we're not careful. We can't allow these people to come in and dominate us. The Guyanese people have to stand up and let the government know They have to take a stand for the Guyanese people by virtue of the Constitution. These resources that we have in Guyana belongs to the people of Guyana, not the government of Guyana. The government of Guyana works for the people, right? So we cannot sit down and accept 2% royalty. That's not going to happen. That's criminal.
I am 100% with you.
You see, my people cannot live in bondage from 1966 to now. We got independence in 66. We can't be in bondage in 2021. With all these resources that we've had, what have we done with these monies? We don't have 2-3 million people in Guyana. For all the resources we have, we don't have nothing to show for it. And what's going to happen in 20 and 30 years when Exxon pulls out of Guyana? Everything is going to be left as a white elephant. The sea is going to be messed up with mercury. And what are we going to have in Guyana? Nothing.
Wow. You know, I smiled today. I smiled today again. I always smile, man. They're building another Marriott at the Ogle. The Trini. And guess what? You know why they're building that? You know whose money is paying for that? Our oil money is paying for that.
Right.
You know who will be sustaining, maintaining, upkeeping that hotel? We oil money. Guyanese should have been the ones owning those hotels. But these morons we have for leaders cannot fathom. They cannot understand how business or how country run or operate.
That is local content.
That is what you call local content, my friend. A Glenn Lall or a Adam Harris or a Joshua Van Slytman or a Granger or a Ali should have been the ones owning those hotels.
Mr.
All of us put together.
Soon we will not be able. You there?
Yes, there.
Soon we will not be able in another year or so to travel between Sherwood Street and Mahaika when those guys start building all those buildings.
I know that. I know
They're
that.
going to build a green zone in Guyana.
Exactly.
When they build that green zone, we cannot go to that green zone, not even to have a hamburger and a french fry.
Only the cleaners.
They're already doing that in certain parts of this country. Local residents, like in Matthews Ridge, are not allowed to go where the Chinese are living. They're already doing that.
My friend,
They're already doing that.
I don't want to say much on that. I want to do a special program on that.
Yes.
I want you to go to Berlin with me. Right, Mr. Lall?
All right.
Mr. Lall,
Yes.
I want you to go to Berlin with me to see what they did in Berlin with West Berlin and East Berlin.
Yes.
And when you come back to Guyana, you tell the people they'll be surprised. Because
always-
of economic conditions in East Berlin, they have to take the wall down. We have to take that wall down and unite the people in Guyana.
Exactly. I always remember Ronald Reagan was the president at the time when he said he said tear that wall down. I remember his words. That's a long time ago. But I always remember his words. Tear that wall down. Gorbachev. I remember it.
Definitely. We have to tear that wall down in Guyana and get things up and running for the people of Guyana.
The first thing.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself.
Thank you.
Bye.
Right. The first thing we have to tear down is the wall between this race, this Indian and African, this PPP and PNC thing. Unless we remove that and stand as Guyanese, we will not get anywhere, my brother. But thank you for that call. And may God bless all of you. Have a great evening. Josh?
All right. Good night, everybody.